Hello Stampers, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. This is card number 2 for this week's Mystery Case Challenge, okay, MCC 22. We're doing a 3-in-1. This is card number 2. So for this one we're starting with a Designer Series paper section 12 by 3. Yesterday we did 12 by 4, this one's 12 by 3. So now for this pattern, we're going to have 12 by 3, we're going to score it 5.5, okay, and then we're going to score at 11, which gives us a 1-inch flap here at the bottom, okay? And I bet if you watched yesterday's video, you know what I'm about to do. I'm going to continue to use Peaceful Boughs as my stamp set, and I'm going to use my garden green ink just like yesterday, although today I'm also going to be using my Sprig Punch to add some embellishment. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for this card, obviously this would make a very skinny card, which is fine. You could make a really skinny card. We're going to make a normal size card. So I have a piece of garden green. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's our standard size card when it's folded in half. And we're going to put this guy down in the middle, and we're going to fold that up. We're going to put a liner on the inside. Okay, just kind of give you an idea. We are going to edge it. I've got gold foil to edge mine. I used gold foil yesterday for the pine cone embellishment, so I'm going to use that to decorate my edges. Before I do any of that, I'm going to add a really cute closure, okay? So I'm going to have to do my closure first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put kind of a half of a belly band around it, and it's going to go behind this section, and then I'm going to put my greeting on the front of that. So we kind of have to decide before we put anything down with adhesive how this is going to lay out. So depending on your paper, your stamp set, the dies that you're using, you're going to think about your layout a little bit. So I normally would say let's put it right in the middle, right? But it kind of covers up that big poinsettia, which is kind of what I want to see. So I'm going to shift mine down a little bit. So mine's going to be more down on that edge. So for the moment, I'm going to pull all these other layers away. Okay. So this is a piece of 5" by 1 scrap of garden green, which is the same as my base, and I put coordinating color for my Designer Series paper. Okay, so I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to position this right about there. So I put my adhesive on my strip there. I've got this folded. I'm positioning it where I want this to come across. Okay, and then I'm just going to crease it there. Okay, so it's kind of like a closure. So there's that. So that has to go on first because we want it tucked behind here. Okay, so since that has to go on first, now we can go ahead and put this piece on our card. So I think I'm going to use liquid adhesive because I might want to have to adjust it just a little bit before it really dries. So I'm going to put my liquid adhesive all over this panel. Now don't get it too much because you don't want it to kind of squirt out your edges, but we do want it to stay. So I'm just going to fold that in half again. So I have to find center. Center, center, center. So I'm going to use my grid paper. I'm going to scooch that down so I have my center line. Okay. Now here, center is over just a little bit. Okay. So as I was eyeballing it, right, I happen to have it on the metric side. So I've got about 3 boxes on this side and 3 boxes on that side. And then here, I want it to go down the center of those 2 sides. Okay, so now I'm just going to adhere that. Okay, so now let's do the inside panel. I'm going to stamp in garden green again, and I'm going to put the same sentiment as yesterday on the inside. So I'm going to stamp this kind of near the top because we're going to tuck this behind that inside decorative flap. I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on. So remember, this is going to come up and this is going to tuck behind. So I kind of want my framing equal on the top and sides. And now I can just add adhesive here and fold that up. Okay, there's the base of our card. We've got our inside sentiment, we've got our front, we've got our flap. Let's go ahead and do our sentiment. I'm going to use, so I've used the smaller die today. I'm going to stamp right in the center. Okay, I can put that on dimensionals. No reason I can't. And so this I want centered on my card and centered on my little fold over flap there. Okay, so you could leave it like that. Perfectly fine. You could leave it like that. You don't have to do a thing. I'm going to add a little more. Okay, so I have my 2 pieces of gold foil that I had left on my table for yesterday. So I'm going to run a bead of adhesive down each side and then add those. So very thin adhesive, and I'm just going to put that on and push it up to that edge. Just hold it for a second so that it grabs. And of course I got adhesive from my finger on that gold foil. So we don't sell these anymore. These are like a rubber block. It's an adhesive remover. It's definitely in our recommendations for Stampin' Up! To bring back. But whenever you get adhesive where you don't want it, it's a great little corrective tool. Alright, so there's that side. Let me do the other side. A little bead of adhesive and my gold foil. And just push that up into that edge so now you can see what I'm doing. Oh no, that got stuck. That's not good. Alright, open that. See my dot's too far over? We'll fix that in a second. So I'm bringing this up and then I'm just pushing that into the edge of my inside cardstock. Alright, so look what I did. When I put that down, I should have put it on here first, and I didn't. I put it on the back of my tag. So how am I going to fix that? Okay, 2 things. I could put another piece over the top, right? Just adhere another piece of this to that. Or I could peel it off. And that's what I'm going to opt to do, is I'm just going to peel off my dimensional. Then I'll add a new one, but this time I'll put it on the green instead of the white so it doesn't stick out. Okay, so a little blemish there. You could work that and peel off that backing, but alright, so make sure we're not sticky on the inside. Fold that over, fold this over. Okay, so again, right, there's our card. We could leave it like that, but I said I was going to use the sprig punch, and I'm gonna. So I have a piece of soft suede, and I have my sprig punch, so I think I'm going to punch out 2. So this paper has this little sprig and leaves and pine cones in there. Yesterday I used the pine cones. Today I'm going to use the sprigs. So I'm just going to add a glue dot to my sprig. Remember I popped that up on dimensionals? So I can slide this in anywhere I want, really. Slide this in between those layers, and I just need that dot to stick. So a little glue dot on my edge, and let's see, want this one to go this way. Okay, so slide it in there and push it down so all that glue dots come together, and then we just fold that over, and there's our card. Right? There's our card. Okay, so my envelope, I got a new package out. I know yesterday I was lacking my envelope, and I'm just once again going to put Seasoned Greetings right in the corner. And there's our second card, guys. So that's our 12 by 3 section of DSP. Remember we started with 12 by 12. This is card number 2. So the first one was 4 inches wide. This one is 3 inches wide. So we've just expanded out from there, right? But we've used our DSP as the focal point inside and out of our card. And tomorrow we'll do card number 3 where we use a 5-inch section. Now somebody asked me, how do you know what the coordinating colors are for our papers? Well, this is the back of my package of paper. And I know it's really tiny to read it, but right here it tells me it's poinsettia place. And it tells me that it's Bumblebee, Garden Green, Old Olive, Real Red, Soft Suede, and Whisper White. It's also listed in the catalog, so you can always look in your catalog or go back and look at your catalog, but it is on your paper. So that's how I know what my coordinating colors are. So that's how I knew I could go get Garden Green ink. I knew I could use Soft Suede paper for my little embellishment. I knew I could use Garden Green as my backer. So that's how I know what colors to use. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed card number 2. I hope maybe you tried card number 1. And I'll have card number 3 for you tomorrow. Alright everybody, have some fun stamping. Bye-bye.